There is a moment in every warrior's life when the noise fades, the world grows distant, and all that remains is the sound of your own spirit clashing against your failures like steel against steel. In that silent battlefield within, your heart asks a question older than empires. Will you remain shattered, or will you be reforged? Life has struck you, bent you, maybe even broken you. But like Hagane no Ishi, the will of steel, true strength is not the absence of scars, it is the courage to step back into the fire. Tonight we enter the forge together. I'm not speaking to spectators, I'm speaking to warriors in training. If you're ready to rebuild, to reclaim honor, to rise again, comment, "I rise," below. Subscribe and stand with this brotherhood and sisterhood of fighters. Thank you for being part of a community that refuses to stay broken, that chooses discipline over despair, action over excuses, spirit over surrender. Your past is the ore, your discipline is the hammer, your vision is the flame. The rule of ruthless self-honesty begins where all excuses die. It is the moment you stop negotiating with your weaknesses and finally face them without makeup, without filters, without the comforting lies you've repeated for years. Musashi did not become a legend by hiding from his flaws. He studied them like an enemy across the battlefield. Ruthless self-honesty means you stop blaming fate, family, society, or circumstances for where you are and instead say, "This is on me." It's not about hating yourself. It's about refusing to let your illusions sabotage your future. You look at your habits, your choices, your patterns, and admit, "I procrastinate. I run from discomfort. I betray my own word." Most people will never do this because the truth feels like a blade pressed against the ego. But remember, a sword is forged by cutting away the useless metal. In the same way, your character is forged when you cut away the comforting lies that keep you weak. When you live by ruthless self-honesty, you begin to see the battlefield of your life clearly. You stop overestimating your strengths and underestimating your weaknesses. You admit you waste hours scrolling, that you train inconsistently, that you talk about goals more than you work on them. You admit you are not as disciplined, focused, or committed as you pretend to be. And from that raw, uncomfortable clarity, real power appears. Musashi wrote, "You must understand your own weakness and remain aware of it, because a warrior who lies to himself steps into battle already defeated." Ruthless self-honesty means tracking your actions instead of trusting your feelings. Your feelings say, "I worked hard today." The facts say, "I barely did one real focused hour." Your feelings say, "I had no choice." The truth says, "I chose comfort over growth." This rule forces you to measure, not imagine, your effort. Practicing this rule daily turns your reflection into your harshest teacher and your greatest ally. Every night, like a samurai sitting in stillness, you review your day and ask, where did I act like a warrior and where did I act like a coward? No sugarcoating, no soft language, no kind of or sort of. You name your failures precisely. I broke my promise to wake up early. I avoided that hard conversation. I lied to myself about my diet. But instead of drowning in shame, you treat each truth like a map showing where to improve. Ruthless self-honesty is not a weapon you use against your soul. It is a blade you use to carve away weakness. Over time, you build an identity based on reality, not fantasy. You begin to trust yourself, because you know you're not hiding anything from your own eyes. This is how a broken life begins to realign. By facing the brutal truth, you gain the power to bend it into a new shape. The rule of unbreakable daily discipline is where dreams stop being fantasies and start becoming forged realities. Musashi did not sharpen his skill once in a while. He lived inside his discipline, breathing it with every step and every strike. Unbreakable daily discipline means you show up whether you feel like it or not. Your emotions become background noise and your commitments become law. It is the choice to train when you're tired, to study when you're distracted, to keep your word when quitting would be easier. Most people wait for motivation. Warriors follow routine. Discipline is the quiet, consistent fire that burns long after motivation has gone cold. Each day you keep your promise to yourself. You hammer your spirit into something stronger, denser, sharper. Each day you break it, you weaken the blade. So, this rule demands that your days are not ruled by mood, but by mission. Living by unbreakable daily discipline means your calendar becomes your dojo. You don't hope to have a good day, you build it, block by block, habit by habit. You have set times to wake up, to train, to work, to learn, to rest, and you protect those times like a samurai guards his sword. Discipline is not just about doing hard things randomly. It is about doing the right things repeatedly, especially when no one is watching. Repeatedly, especially when no one is watching. You understand that greatness is not a sudden explosion. It is the accumulation of small, often boring actions carried out with precision over time. You accept that repetition is not punishment. It is the path. Musashi practiced the same strike thousands of times until it became part of his body. In the same way, you repeat your disciplines, exercise, reading, building your craft, controlling your impulses, until they become part of who you are, not something you have to force. Over time, the rule of unbreakable daily discipline transforms your identity. At first you push yourself because you have goals. Eventually you push yourself because this is simply who you are. You stop arguing with your tasks. You don't ask, do I feel like doing this? You tell yourself, this is what must be done, and you move. You begin to see the powerful compound effect of discipline. Your body changes, your mind sharpens, your finances improve, your emotional stability grows. People call you lucky, but only you know the truth. You bled for this in the quiet hours. Discipline also becomes your shield against chaos. When life hits you, your routines keep you grounded. While others crumble under stress, you fall back on your habits like a warrior falls into his stance. This stability gives you confidence. You trust yourself, because you know you will show up. That is unbreakable daily discipline, not perfection, but a relentless return to the path. Every single day. The rule of detachment from destructive desires is the art of cutting the invisible chains that secretly control your life. Musashi warned against becoming attached to anything, for attachment blinds the warrior and makes him predictable. Destructive desires are not only addictions or obvious vices, they are also the subtle cravings for comfort, constant entertainment, validation, ego, and instant gratification. These desires whisper, just one more scroll, one more episode, one more lazy day, while they quietly steal your power, your time, and your future. Detachment does not mean you stop wanting anything. It means your desires stop ruling you. You become the master, not the servant. You learn to step back and say, this craving is not me. This impulse is not my command. Like a samurai observing the battlefield from a hill, you watch your urges rise and fall without obeying them. Living by this rule means you begin to question everything that pulls at your attention and your appetite. You ask, does this make me stronger or weaker? Does this move me toward my mission or further away? Destructive desires often feel good in the moment but leave you emptier, softer, and more scattered afterward. You start to notice how chasing cheap dopamine, junk food, mindless scrolling, constant stimulation kills your ability to focus, to be present, to go deep into your craft. Detachment is choosing long-term honor over short-term pleasure. It's saying no when everyone else says yes, not because you are afraid of life, but because you respect your path. You understand that every desire you feed grows stronger, and every desire you starve grows weaker. So, like sharpening a blade, you cut away habits, apps, people, and environments that constantly trigger the worst in you. Over time, detachment from destructive desires becomes a quiet, powerful freedom. You are no longer pulled like a puppet by every emotional wave or every temptation that appears. You can sit in boredom without reaching for distraction. You can feel stress without immediately running to food, noise, or escape. You learn to breathe through cravings, to let them come and go like clouds passing through an open sky. This distance gives you clarity. You begin to see how much energy you wasted chasing things that never fed your spirit. With that reclaimed energy, you pour more of yourself into training, learning, building, and serving. You start to enjoy a different kind of pleasure, the deep satisfaction of self-restraint. You respect yourself more, because you are not easily conquered by impulses. This is how broken lives begin to heal, by no longer feeding the very desires that cause the cracks. You create space for discipline, purpose, and true strength to grow. The rule of strategic focus and simplicity is the discipline of cutting away everything that does not serve your path, the way a swordsmith shaves off excess steel to reveal a single perfect blade. Musashi did not try to master 1,000 techniques. He refined a few until they were unstoppable. In a world that worships multitasking and noise, this rule commands you to slow down, choose your battles, and direct your energy like a spear, not like scattered dust. Strategic focus means you stop chasing every opportunity, every trend, every distraction disguised as productivity. You choose one main mission for this season of your life, and align your actions with it. Simplicity means you clear your environment, your schedule, and even your thoughts of clutter so your mind can strike clean. Complexity is the enemy of execution. The more complicated your life, the weaker your strike. Living by strategic focus and simplicity means you know exactly what matters most each day. You identify the few high-value actions that move your life forward, training, studying, building, deep work, and you protect them ruthlessly. You reduce your goals from 10 to 2 or 3, then commit fully. You see how scattered focus creates scattered results. A bit of effort in fitness, a bit in business, a bit in skills, but never enough to break through in any of them. So you choose. This is my primary target, and I will hit it again and again. Simplicity is not laziness, it is precision. You simplify your habits. Wake at a set time. Train, work, reflect, rest. You simplify your tools. Fewer apps, fewer tabs, fewer unnecessary choices. Just like a warrior keeps only what he can carry into battle, you keep only what strengthens your mission and let the rest fall away. Over time, the rule of strategic focus and simplicity turns your life into a sharp, directed force instead of a tangled mess of half-started efforts. You begin to experience momentum because your energy is no longer leaking in 100 directions. You notice your skills improve faster, your progress becomes visible, and your mind feels lighter. Decisions become easier because your strategy is clear. If it doesn't serve my mission, it doesn't get my time. You stop impressing people with busyness and start impressing yourself with results. Simplicity also brings peace. You are less overwhelmed, less anxious, because your path is not crowded with unnecessary obligations and distractions. In this streamlined state, you can adapt quickly, just as Musashi adapted his tactics on the battlefield. You are not rigid, you are focused. This is how a broken life starts to reorganize itself, by stripping away the excess, organizing around a clear strategy, and allowing your effort to finally hit with full power. The rule of relentless forward motion is the refusal to stay on your knees after life has driven you into the ground. It is Musashi's spirit of never-ending movement even when the path is dark, the body is tired, and the heart is bruised. Relentless forward motion does not mean you never fall, it means you never stay fallen. It's the decision to take one more step when your mind screams, "Enough!" Some days you move like a charging warrior, other days you crawl. Both count, as long as you do not stop. This rule kills the illusion of perfect timing. There is no perfect moment to rebuild your life. There is only now, only this next action, only this next decision. You stop waiting for motivation, support, or clarity, and instead say, "I move anyway." Like a river cutting through stone, your power is not in speed, but in persistence. Living by relentless forward motion means you stop letting setbacks reset you to zero. You will fail, you will slip, you will break your streaks, you will have days where you feel weak and ashamed. The average person uses these moments as excuses to give up. I missed one day, I might as well quit. A warrior of forward motion responds differently. I missed one day, I start again today. No drama, no pity, no long pause. You do not allow guilt to turn into paralysis. You understand that progress is rarely a straight line. It's a jagged climb filled with falls, pauses, and sudden jumps. What matters is that the general direction is upward. You learn to shrink the step when the weight is heavy. If you can't do a full workout, you do 10 push-ups. If you can't read for an hour, you read for 5 minutes. The step may be small, but the identity behind it is massive. I keep moving. Over time, the rule of relentless forward motion hardens your spirit into something life can't easily break. You begin to trust yourself deeply because you see a pattern. No matter how bad it gets, you return to the path. This gives you a quiet, powerful confidence. An inner knowing that I will find a way. Fear loses some of its grip because you're no longer obsessed with avoiding failure. You are committed to continuing after it. Regret begins to fade, replaced by a stubborn pride in your resilience. Others see only your results. They don't see the nights you wanted to quit but chose one more step. This rule turns time into your ally. Every day you keep moving, even a little, the gap between who you were and who you are becoming grows wider. This is how broken lives transform, not through one dramatic moment, but through countless small, relentless steps forward, taken by a soul that refuses to stay where it fell. As we stand now at the edge of this journey, remember that the path to fixing a broken life is not paved with miracles, but with relentless commitment. Commitment to truth, discipline, detachment, focus, and forward motion. Like Musashi's steel forged in fire, your spirit will be tempered by every challenge you face and every rule you choose to live by. There will be moments when the weight of your past threatens to crush you, when the shadows of doubt creep in. But it is in those moments that your warrior heart must ignite brightest. Embrace the struggle, honor the process, and never forget that every step, no matter how small, is a strike against the chains that once bound you. You are not alone on this battlefield. You stand with a community of warriors who refuse to surrender to brokenness. So rise each day with fierce intention, wield these 5 rules like a sword, and carve a new destiny with your own hands. The path is long, but your will is steel. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Now go forward and become the master of your life.